one step beyond you. Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm your host, Erica Lynn, and welcome back to One Step Beyond You. This is the home of motivation and inspiration. You guys know that each week I give you different topics that will inspire and motivate you onto the next level of your life. This week, we're going to talk about 5 ways to grow and develop your gifts and talents. You guys know last week we talked about discovering your purpose, the 7 ways of walking into your purpose and discovering your purpose. But this week, we're going to talk about how you grow your gifts and talents. Because once you discover what your purpose is, now you need to know how to nurture it and how to develop it, how to keen in. How would it say to keen on your senses? So that's what we're going to talk about: 5 ways to develop your gifts and talents. But before we get started, I want to make sure you guys hit the like button. Please hit the like button. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we got a new button. The booking button is right above. If you go to the One Step Beyond You on Facebook, because I know you guys see this video on many different channels, but if you're on the actual One Step Beyond You page, up at the top, there's a booking button. And it does all the work for you. You can book yourself on my show and be a wonderful guest in 2020 and allow everybody to hear who you are and what you have to share with them. So don't forget to hit the booking button and please be a guest on One Step Beyond You for 2020. How does that sound, you guys? Is that okay? So as you look back on your time of what is it that you wanted to develop? What is it that you developed? Let's say you wanted to be a better speaker, or you wanted to be a better coach or a better counselor. What about, I have many friends that's in the optical field. What if you wanted to be a better optician? How can you help yourself grow and allow your abilities to come out so that when the customers come into the location, that they're coming and they're seeking for you because you're a great optician, you do wonderful in sales? How can you nurture that and allow it to grow? So that's what we're going to talk about today, growing and developing your gifts and talents. So it is important that we become excellent stewards over everything God gives us. If He gives us money, our talents, influence, our spiritual gifts, or any other thing that He blesses us with, we have to be great stewards over. So there are 5 practical ways that you can grow your gifts and talents. You know, people always say, if you can't manage and handle the money the level where you are, the amount of money that you get, then why would God open up the door and bless you with more? Because then you're not going to be able to handle more. If you can't handle less, then you can't handle more. So this is a way for us to develop ourselves and groom ourselves so that when we are blessed with more, we are prepared in that situation. Does that make sense to you guys? Each person, I want you guys to take a moment and identify the area in which you want to grow. Identify what it is that you feel that the areas that you're weak in, and if just because you feel that this is the area that you're weak in, don't look down on yourself or don't look bad for having those weaknesses, because that's what we're here to help you grow and develop them. So this could be a spiritual gift, a gift of talent, an ability to the way you lead others. I know for me, there's things that I want to grow and develop. For example, I did my first live webinar last night. I got some growing and developing to do. But what's most important is I actually got up and I tried it. I wasn't afraid. Well, okay, I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know how people would respond or receive the webinar. But I learned a lot of things from actually trying it. Because how are you going to know if you don't actually try? So actually give it a try. So you have to have exposure. So one of the ways that you can grow and develop your talents is have exposure. Be exposed to people who have those experiences and in abilities in the areas that you want to grow in. Make sure that you can see a living in this area Make sure that you actually talk to a living and breathing person who does excellent work in this area. And as you observe this person, you will pick up their traits and their habits and their principles and make that person, what that person has, make it good for you. And what they do, make it work for you. And so you watch the other person, and then you add your tweak and your spin on it. And if you see how they say successful people leaves clues. And so if you have a mentor and you're working under that mentor and they're helping polish you, and sometimes they may be a little tough on you, I find that because they see something in you that you don't see yourself. They see greater in you than you see yourself. They're just waiting on you to catch up to what they've already seen in you. Does that make sense? Good morning, Miss Leah. How are you? And welcome to One Step Beyond You. We're talking about 5 ways to grow and develop your talents. And so what we want to know is, who is someone, just think about who is someone that you know who is really great at the thing in which you want to grow. You know, who is someone, if you're an optician, because I talked about being an optician, if you're an optician and you want to be a better optician, who in your store or your location does great in sales, or who in the company does great? Reach out to them and see if they'll mentor you and teach you some of their tools and ways to help, the ways that they develop, so that they can help develop you. And they shouldn't see you as a competition. They should say, okay, when I need help, I know that I can count on this person because they are seeking for growth and they have much, much, much potential. So who is it that you know that can help you in your wish to grow? How might you be able to shadow them? Like I said, find out how you can work with them. A lot of things is when you go through the training process, like if you get a new job and you go through the training process, sometimes that could be a bit overwhelming. My best advice is, after you go through the training process and you learn all that you can learn, then once you kind of get the whole feel of the company, go back to that person or find someone else in that company that you've watched and see how they move. Now go and try to train under them. So this way you can learn a different set of skills and you can cultivate the ones you already have. Does that make sense to you guys? And the next skill that you can do. So the first one, I want you guys to expose yourself to someone who can help you grow. So the next skill is education. Educate yourself. Education is where you intentionally take time to learn a certain topic. You might sit down and listen to how someone does something. You may also want to read a book or the subject or take a class. Whatever the topic is, be sure to be an active learner. So you want to educate yourself. You want to learn all that you can. There's periods in the second year of One Step Beyond You where I was quiet and I did not come out in the forefront as much. But that was because I was behind the scenes learning. I was working with people. I was educating myself because I seen a lot of the areas where I was weak at on the first season or the first year of doing business. Then I said, okay, God, how can I grow and develop this? And so I had to do what was necessary to help to grow and develop me. And one of the things that was really big on my list was I really wanted to lose weight. Oftentimes I would look at myself in the camera and I would see like a double chin, a double neck or whatever, and that bothered me. It may not bother you guys, but it bothered me. And so I had to educate myself on what is the best way that works for my body, because I worked out day in and day out and I lost weight and then I put the weight back on. Then I had to become educated on how to do it effectively and so that it's long lasting, and then I won't put the weight back on. And the most important is I had to develop new habits. And that goes along with everything that I'm teaching. You guys have to develop new habits. In order to grow and nurture your talents, you have to develop new habits. If you want to be a speaker, then you gotta speak a lot. You gotta stand in the mirror. You gotta practice. How many people know how hard it is to be behind this camera? How hard it is to do a live show every Friday morning at 7 a.m. If you guys go back, and I didn't take it down because I like to look at that growth process, but I always said, if you go back and you look at my first season, when I first started doing the show, I was so uptight. I was like, hi, I'm Erica Lynn, and welcome. And everybody would be like, well, why is she so loud? I said, because I want everybody to hear me. And then I found out that I don't have to talk loud. You guys can actually hear me. So anyway, I had to educate myself on how to get better at things, just like you have to educate yourself as well. In the process of education, find out, are there any books on the matter or the subject, articles or videos? You know, by those you can find national videos, international books that you can recognize experts in the area of which you're trying to develop. So look for books and videos and articles, you know, they'll help you as well. Also, find out, is there a class, a seminar, a lesson, or training you could take on the subject? So you know how I talk about the 7 techniques of healing. Not only do I offer the book, not only do I offer the book that's behind me, I wanted to offer more than just a book. And that's why now I offer the free webinars. You guys can join the webinar to learn more about the 7 techniques of healing and the 7 techniques of healing program. And so if you look in the comments above or below or wherever, there is a link to the webinar. Just click on it. It's free. It'll be Thursday, February 23rd at 6 p.m. Join us on the free webinar. And so this is one of the things. Not only did I write a book, I developed a free webinar because I want to give you guys great content, but then we have the 7 Techniques of Healing Masterclass. And so this is something for all of those who want to learn about the 7 techniques to either come to the 7 Techniques of Healing workshop and learn how the 7 techniques can help you, or come to the 7 Techniques of Healing workshop to learn how you can be a facilitator of the 7 Techniques of Healing program. But all of this was because I had to educate myself by linking up with someone who showed me the road and the path to get there. Like I said before, success leaves clues. And so if you want to get to the next level, you can't do it by yourself. You have to reach out and allow people to help you and bless you and help mold you and grow you and cultivate you. And so, you know, I hope that makes sense to you guys. And I hope to see you guys on the 7 Techniques of Healing webinar Thursday night at 6 p.m. The next thing is you have to change your environment. You need a place where you can grow your gifts and your talents. So if you want to be a speaker, you have to go to speaking class, or you have to be around other speakers. You have to put yourself in the different organizations. If you want to be a great optician, you need to put yourself in the optical world, go to optical seminars, ask any questions without being made to feel stupid. You guys, do anybody out here know me personally? I sometimes have asked some questions that I felt was like the dumbest questions and that a person should already know. But the people that I surround myself that's on the higher level or where I'm trying to get, they never have made me feel stupid about asking such questions. They've always allowed me to ask anything that I want to know. And then I would sit back and I would think about the answer. And then that allows me to move forward. And when people don't make you feel stupid, that begin to help build your confidence. When you make a person feel stupid about asking a question, that somehow demoralizes them and that lessens their confidence. So we don't want to lessen your confidence or demoralize you. We want to uplift you and bring you up to where we are. And so don't be afraid to ask questions. You need an environment where you can learn about fear or failure. Let me tell you. I'll tell you. So if you're in that environment and you're learning about fear or failure, that means that you're trying things even if you don't know what you're doing, or even if you're trying to get good at it. A good environment can also be a place where people is involved in that area of interest where they work or they hang out. And so you could probably go to the gym and find other people that's in your area, or like I said, networking events. Networking events is a great place to meet other people that's in your area. Or when you find they have, like, for example, being a speaker, they have speakers bureaus and speakers events and speakers programs and speaker magazines. And so in order to get good and network and meet other people, then I want to be in an environment with other speakers. Does that make sense to you guys? So if you want to get good at whatever area I want you to surround yourself in an environment where you can be around other like-minded people that can help grow and develop you as well. Internships also can be a great way to get in the right environment. And so that means, like, what about all those technical engineers and things like that? That means you can get into an internship and learn a lot. I know at the company that I work for, we have, in the summertime, they have interns that just come out of the local colleges and they work for us for the summer in our IT department. I've been blessed to see women come through the door and young men come through the door. And I always think like, wow, they're going to work for this company. But then God opens the door and blesses them with a better opportunity, because the point is they was just at that company just to learn and cultivate themselves so they can go on to higher and much bigger and better things. And so whatever doors God had opened for them. So that's a blessing. But what you want to think about is what sort of environment would help you grow in this area the most. So think about it. So as I'm talking, think about what sort of environment, whatever area that you want to develop, think about what area will help you grow it the most. Where do people who are good in the area of interest hang out or work? Think about where are they. So I just gave you some examples at local companies, at the gym, at speaker bureaus, whatever your field of interest is. Just really sit down and think about what area they're in. And so you can surround yourself with like-minded people. I'm telling you, like-minded people really, really help you. I work with some wonderful coaches. And I don't know if you guys can actually see my growth potential, but my coaches, they have really took the time to work with me so that I can grow and develop. Because like I said before, it's not easy getting behind the camera, let alone getting up at 4 a.m. to get ready to be on camera and develop great content for you guys to hear and want to come back and listen to every week, right? And so I had to get better at some things. So I just want to say thank you guys for being with me since the beginning of One Step Beyond You to where I am, because now we're in our 3rd year, and I really, really appreciate everyone for just being there, watching me grow and develop behind the scenes, because the best is yet to come. And that's for you also. So keep continuing to grow and develop your talents and your gifts, because I can't wait to see what doors God is going to open for you. You guys are some amazing people, and you touch lives all over the world. So just keep better. And like one of my coaches told me, just keep getting better. Just keep getting better. And that's one of the things I want to do. I'm not letting you down, Coach Jesse. I am keeping getting better. The next thing is experience. Nothing beats experience and good old trial and error. After being exposed to something, you should try it. You should try it yourself. You probably won't be great at it right away, but you'll never get better if you don't give it that experience, or you don't have that experience. You need plenty of opportunities to try, fail, learn from your mistakes, and grow. So what are some of the simple ways to practice your gifts and talents? Let me tell you guys. So last night, I did my first webinar, my first live webinar. It was it wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't my best. However, I made a few errors, right? I didn't set up the webinar to where it automatically records. So I can't even go back and see the webinar. And I had promised everybody after the webinar was over, because there's a Q&A section in the webinar where you can ask as many questions as you want. And if I can't get to the questions, I was going to go back and create a document and add with all the questions that was asked, type up the answer, and then I was going to send them out in an email, follow-up email to everyone who attended the webinar. Well, because your girl Erica Lynn didn't record the webinar, I can't even go back and get the questions. So that was the first mistake that I made. So the second mistake that I made is when I set the webinar up through my office, because I have these systems that I purchased that I'm learning how to work. There's a link, which is this is a different link that you guys have attached to this this live, but there's a link that you go on, you schedule yourself. Well, there was somebody that was able to they canceled from last night and they rescheduled for next week. Then there was somebody else that's scheduled for next week. And I said, I didn't schedule a webinar for next Thursday. And so somebody called me after the show. They texted me after the webinar was over. So they called me, when you get a chance. And he was like, yeah, I scheduled myself for next week. I was like, I didn't schedule a webinar for next week. And he's like, well, it let me do it. And so I laughed about it because even though I didn't schedule one, I said, well, let me go ahead and schedule it now, because now it's a second opportunity for me to get it right. So that means that I'm going to keep trying until I get better, because I learned some wopas, right? Even when I come on the live, when I come on the webinar and no one's there, don't keep saying, oh, let me wait till somebody join. Just jump on, start teaching my material, and keep it moving. And so that was one of the things that I learned. So just like you, whatever it is that you're trying to get good at, try it. You're going to fail. I did, and I'm happy about it because it allowed me a second opportunity to get it right. And on top of that, some wonderful people that I posted this in like a little private group. I shared my experience, and they was like, we're going to help you. We're going to help you advertise your webinar. So who knows, you guys are going to look up, and I'm going to be all over Facebook. And that's what my mistake cost me a blessing. It allowed a blessing to come into my life. So like I said, try something. You never know what blessing is going to come at your way. So in other words, just practice until you get your gifts and your talents right. I'm a lot calmer today because, people always tell me that I'm really hyper when I'm on camera, that I feel like I'm yelling. So I'm learning how to be more calmer, to let you feel me. And that comes with practice, right? So my personality still comes out, but it comes out in a more soothing, loving way. Do you guys like the new Erica? Thumbs up if you liked it. Anyway, is there a job or internship or a volunteer position where you can use your gifts and talents? Think about that. What place that you can go that you can volunteer. Again, with the internships, or just a place, like I said, you surround yourself and you can gain experience by doing so. Also, you want to know how can you use your gifts or talents more often, even on a daily basis. So for me, I'm not speaking every single day, but one way for me to practice is to do the lives, is to do the webinars, is to, when I first got started 2 years ago, nobody wasn't beating down my door saying, Erica, we want you to speak. We heard you was the greatest speaker in the world. Nobody ever heard of me because I just said, okay, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to bless and help people through my experiences. So nobody knew who I was. Nobody even knew I existed. But I knew who I am, and I knew that I existed, and I knew that I wanted an opportunity to be able to share that with people. So what I did was I created my own opportunities. I created my own events, motivating into your purpose, motivating into your healthier lifestyle. And this allowed people to come into my own establishments and hear me speak along with allowing me to practice. And now the third year in, I am booked in Michigan, in Indiana, and other states. Like, we're going to take this puppy on the world in 2020. And so again, how can you use your gifts and more often? Which ways that you could practice? Like I said, just putting yourself in environments where you can practice. So when we talked about the optician, you have to just practice on your selling abilities, practice on your people skills. Put yourself in those environments where you can get better and greater at what you do and what you want to do, in developing your gifts and talents. So the evaluation, what's most important is to be evaluated. If you are really going to grow in a particular area, you must receive evaluation. You need to receive helpful, honest feedback from someone you trust and respect. It got to be somebody you trust and respect. Hopefully, this will be done in a kind and encouraging manner. Without evaluation, you will miss out on the opportunity to grow. You won't know what areas you're weak in if you don't allow people to tell you or tell you what areas you need help in. Like, I personally know the areas that I need help in, but when you guys are on the other side of the camera and you watching the videos or you watching the live webinars, then you're able to say, and this is what I love about people. They text me, they message me, they was like, you was good, but I need you to do this. One of the things everybody always say, stop yelling. So I am no longer yelling on camera anymore. I know I have a loud voice, but I had to learn how to do vocal exercises and control the tone of my voice. And that was done through speaking classes, learning vocal variety, my highs, my lows, how to show sadness through the sound of my voice and all of that. But that all comes with practice. So you got to practice, and you got to allow somebody to help you get better. So you want to think about, who do you know who can give you helpful feedback? I know a lot of people. Like Pastor Barb, she gives me helpful feedback. Sister Sandra, she helps me give me helpful feedback. All the coaches that I'm surrounded, I have a lot of coaches in my life, and they give me great feedback. And so I'm saying that to say it may be more than one person who can help you to give you great feedback, but you have to be open to receiving the feedback, because if you're not, then you're never going to grow. You're going to stay stuck. You're going to be in the same place that you have always been. And if I never listen to anybody, then I'll still be yelling. If I didn't listen to my producer, and he would always, he would be behind the camera teaching me certain things. And first we used to butt heads. I got to be honest. And then when I sat back and I really learned his field of expertise and we learned how to work together, now, he allowed me to help develop him and help evaluate him, and I allowed him to help evaluate me. Because one of the things that I had, and I'll share with you guys, when you're on camera, you see certain things after the video was over. And so your producer is supposed to catch those things. So I would tell him, hey, I got a big forehead, right? So I'm owning it today on the show. I have a huge forehead. So no matter how much weight I lose, my forehead is not going to get any smaller, right? But in any event, when the lights are on, because if you guys don't know, we have lights and all this in the background that you don't see on the camera. It makes my forehead shine. I have a big, huge, shiny forehead. So one of the things that I had to talk to my producer about, hey, before we go on camera, tell me, tighten up that forehead, get your fo together. And so we work well together now, because now, the videos are more polished. My speaking is more polished. The message is more polished. That is because I allowed somebody to evaluate me, to help me grow, so that now going forward, I'm developing myself while delivering great content to you guys. Does that make sense? So find somebody that you trust and love, and allow them to evaluate you. Which of your friends can you use and ask, and they give you an honest opinion? My friends, they give it to me straight. I know if you got friends like I got, they'll give it to you straight too. But you also want to brainstorm, knowing that most people won't give you unsolicited feedback unless you ask them to do so. So you guys can brainstorm together a few good ways to ask for feedback and characterized by grace and truth. So, brainstorm with with the person that you want to give you feedback, and you guys can definitely come up with some good ways to make it work for you. And so find out how can we encourage each other so that we can take these steps and much needed steps to grow our gifts and talents. So, I want to be able to help you grow your gifts and talents, just like I want you guys to be able to help me grow my gifts and talents. And so I thank you guys for joining us this morning for the 5 steps that I gave you to help grow and develop your gifts and talents. But before we go this morning, I have a free gift for you guys. Make sure you go on the website. Let me move this way. Can you see the website? www.onestepbeyondyou.com. Go on the website and download your free download. The free download is about overcoming your weaknesses. So this is another tool another free tool that I'm providing to you guys to help you grow yourself and overcome your weakness and develop your strengths and develop your talents. And so don't forget to go to the home page. It's right there on the home page. Also, I want you guys to join the free webinar. I posted the link to the webinar above. Join the free webinar. It's Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to talk about the 7 techniques of healing and how it can help you, how you can use the 7 techniques to help other people, because the Masterclass is phenomenal and there's great opportunities with the 7 techniques of healing program. Like I said, not only for you coming to the workshop to be a participant, but an opportunity for me to teach you how to be a facilitator of the workshop, and you can use the 7 techniques of healing as another exercise or program in your organization as well. So make sure, I'm looking for all you guys to subscribe to the live webinar. So don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And again, I'm on YouTube also, and everything is One Step Beyond You. I thank you guys for joining me this morning on the One Step Beyond You. It was phenomenal. It was a wonderful show. I enjoyed it. And I didn't get much sleep last night because after we finished the webinar, I had some things I had to do. And when I got ready to go to bed, I went to sleep and my phone rang and I had a family emergency. I had to jump up and get my clothes on. And I was like, oh my God, I got to be up at 4 o'clock this morning, 4:30 to get myself prepared and my content. But I did what I needed to do so that I can be here and be a blessing to you. And I thank you guys for joining me as always every week. Jalen, what happened to you, darling? Jalen. Sorry about that, you guys. My producer, I don't know, he disappeared. So, again, thank you guys for joining us. And just remember, it only takes just one step beyond you. God bless you. So now I have to get up and go turn off the camera because I think my producer fell asleep.
Beyond you.